Hey friends, my name is Ray Kamienda. For some of you don't know me, actually in financial services, I've been there for about 20 years. I live here in great Baltimore, Maryland. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the market. Hopefully this helps you. It's going to be a little bit of like a 5-minute video. Some information I just recently learned, and I hope it helps you out, and I hope it gives you like a fair warning of what could possibly happen to us in the next couple of years. If you could see a little bit into the future, I think that would help a lot of people. Like, I'd certainly love to know when the housing market was going to crash. I'd certainly love to know when the dot-com boom was about to crash. So this is just for information purposes only. But recently I got the privilege to read a book called 401k Chaos by a gentleman by the name of Andy Tanner. This gentleman actually works in conjunction. He's one of the guys that works with Robert Kiyosaki. If you know anything about finances, Robert Kiyosaki is most famous for his books Rich Dad Poor Dad, and also Cash Flow Quadrants, one of his most famous books. But anyway, he talks about that book about 401ks, these retirement plans that we all heard of. So I just want you to know, in general, a 401k is basically a retirement plan with a tax law where it's tax deductible, tax deferred. Other names it goes by is a 403b, a TSA, a TSP, even an IRA. So there's many different names. One name you may not be familiar with is called deferred compensation, but they all worked about the same way. It's a tax deductible and a tax deferred account. Okay, it was supposed to be a supplemental to Social Security and also supplemental to pension plans. We call that the three-legged stools. But things have popped up recently that people really need to know about this information. So in that book, it talks about the ERISA of 1974. That was basically the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. And in 1974, they launched this thing called a 401k, basically. And one of the things that the book talks about is the unintended consequences of this law, that even though they allow you to go tax deferred and tax deductible, it forces you at a certain age to take money out, which currently is 70.5 years of age. If you look at your paperwork, if you have that 401k, at 70.5, you need to start actually taking out what they call RMD, Required Minimum Distribution. So these baby boomers have been put into this plan. A lot of them are contributing. They have currently about $23 trillion in these plans. And what happens is, by 2016, the first batch of them will hit the age of 70.5. Now what's significant about that is that first year, 2016, that's 2.2 million people. When 2.2 million people have to take out money from their retirement plans because why? The government is now interested in collecting taxes from them because they're 70.5. They don't want to pass away with all that money in that account, so they're going to require them to take money out. Now what if 2.2 million people took out just $1,000 all at the same time? Now what's interesting about that is these are shares. These are shares that have to be sold in the market. So when you dump that many shares on the market at the same time, you have to ask yourself, what would be the effect of our market? Plus that we have a lot of seniors actually taking out from other accounts. Second year after that, you're going to have almost 3 million people. 2.8 million people will do the same thing because they're going to hit the required minimum distribution. Imagine all the way up to 76 million people taking money out of the market around the same time frame within about 18 years. The baby boomers, remember, were born between 1946 and 1964. That's 76 million people. On top of that, if you look at the total numbers from immigrants that came into the country, you're really looking at about 93 million people that will start to participate in Social Security and we're taking money out of their retirement accounts. So I don't know about you, but it's pretty scary when all those people start taking money out of accounts, when 3/4 of our society in America stop buying, because again, seniors don't buy a lot. So you got to ask yourself, what's going to happen? What are markets going to look like in the next year or two? So I just wanted to share that with you. I highly recommend. I don't work for Andy Tanner, but I read this book, 401k Chaos, and I think you all should read it. It has a lot to share about how the 401k really works and how it may not be the best deal out there. Thank you. Hi, my name is Ray Kamienda. It's my pleasure to share this information with you today. I'd like to let you know that I am a licensed insurance agent in Maryland and the surrounding states. I am not a tax advisor nor a financial planner, although I do have about 20 years experience in this industry. If you have any interest in the information you watch today, you can certainly contact us, and we also recommend you also consult your tax and financial professional. Thank you.